not intentional on my part. That will be the first question that I ask God when I get to see Him. What happened? What were you thinking? But anyway, my first son, who's 42, 20 years younger than me, was born of my first marriage. I was in the middle of getting a divorce when I found out that I was pregnant. I got married to my fourth husband. He was about 8 years old. And as soon as my husband and I got married, he adopted him. Very kind of him and very loving. Now, my older son really resents his mother. There are two reasons that I know of that have caused this. One of them is that I did get married 4 times in his childhood. Now, of course, he doesn't remember the first 2. Well, he does remember his real dad a little bit because he had a little bit of contact with him when he was older. But he resents me for that, and I cannot say that I blame him for that at all. The other thing he resents me for is the fact that I married military, and we did move quite a bit. So he's still resentful, and he still carries anger around about those 2 things. Now, I was a military brat myself, and there are many, many military brats in this world, and we just have had to deal with it. Do I wish that my parents had not moved around so much? Hell yeah! I always dreamed of being in the same house for a really long time and being able to have lifetime friends. But it just wasn't that way for me. And I just accepted that. It was a way of life for me. Now, when my fourth husband and I had been married for less than a year, I had never taken any birth control, first of all. Never took any birth control throughout any of my marriages. I had 2 miscarriages, and then I had my older son. I just figured I couldn't have any more kids. So when my fourth husband and I decided we really wanted to have a baby together, he was stationed in Virginia. So we both went to the Bethesda Fertility Clinic. It's supposed to be one of the best in the world. So we had all these tests, and I was standing on my head. I was taking my temperature every morning. We were going at it like rabbits during my supposedly fertile time. That didn't work. So they put me on fertility drugs, and I was on those drugs for over a year, and they didn't work either. So then they told us that if I got on stronger fertility drugs, that for sure if I conceived, I would have multiple babies. Well, we went home and thought about that, and I decided against it. For one thing, my husband was never home. He was all about his career. So I would have been a single parent again with multiple children. I was not up for that, y'all. So we didn't do anything else. I still wasn't taking any birth control, and we had no children. Then, when I was between my fourth and my 5th husband, I had this fling. I'm not ashamed to say it. I was going through a and then walk out. So that's what I did. And I was having a fling with this guy, military, of course. And what happened was we saw each other off and on for about 8 months. And I got pregnant. Now, I couldn't believe it. I mean, 20 years, y'all. No birth control. No babies. So what happened? I don't know. Now, I will tell you this, and I don't want anybody to misunderstand. I don't want you to get the wrong idea. Y'all know I tell it like it is. Now, this man, this fling of mine, happened to be black. Now, I don't know that that had anything to do with it. I mean, come on, y'all. But I joke about that being the reason. And that I won't even shake hands with a black man now because it terrifies me. Now, I'm just being funny and I'm being facetious. Y'all don't take any offense at that, okay? I'm not a prejudiced person about color or race. Now, I do have some prejudices. There's no doubt about that. But it's not about color or race. Anyway, I got pregnant with my second son, who is 20 years younger than my older son. Now, I didn't marry his father because I don't believe that two wrongs can make a right, okay? I don't believe that. So, I was a single parent. I let him know when I was going to the hospital. I was induced, so I knew exactly when my second son was going to be born. His father didn't give a rat's ass. He didn't show up. I didn't expect him to, but I did do him the courtesy of letting him know. I feel that is a man's right. He harangued me for the first 4 months of my pregnancy to get an abortion. Y'all, I wasn't raised in that kind of era where abortions were, one, easy to come by, and two, morally correct. So I never even, I mean, maybe for a split second, I entertained the idea, but I would never have done it. Anyway, so that's it about my boys, y'all. They are 20 years apart, and I love my boys both very, very much. And there's a lot more to those stories, of course, but I just thought I would talk to y'all about that today. I don't know if anybody cares about that or they're interested in that, but people are always saying, tell us about your life. And that has been a very big part of my life. I love my children more than anything in this world. And I know y'all love your children too. And I love y'all. So do something fun today. I'm gonna go see the psychiatrist. He's been really nice, y'all. Anyway, talk to you later.